Why can't Coding Bootcamp grads find jobs? That's easy, because Coding Bootcamps teach you how to code, but the job search is a sales process. So if you're watching this video, you're probably struggling to get a job. But if you spend a few minutes with me, I promise that I will teach you what you need to master so that you can get multiple job offers this month. The interesting thing about sales is that 80% of your results come from 20% of your efforts. So you've probably heard this type of advice before. Create a resume, make a cover letter, apply online, but none of this works today. And if you're talking to a recruiter, you're probably doing it wrong because hiring managers are the ones that are actually in charge. My brother was doing all of these things perfectly, and he was wondering why he wasn't getting the job offers that he wanted. So I'm gonna tell you what I told him that got him a six-figure job in less than a year. What many people don't know is that recruiters have a really hard job, but it's very important. Recruiters screen resumes for hiring managers that actually have decision-making power. Recruiters are screening thousands of applications every single day, and because their time is limited, they tend to focus on people with college degrees versus people from coding bootcamps. So, if you're a coding bootcamp grad, you need to focus on the fact that most jobs are offline and come through referral.
Do you have a resume for me?
I do. Yes, I do. I could pretty much just tell you.
Once he understood this gem, here are the 5 things I told him about why coding bootcamp grads don't find jobs. Number 1, you don't have the right mindset. Number 2, you're applying online. Number 3, you don't know how to tell your story. Number 4, you don't know how to pick companies. And number 5, you don't know how to pick people. So let's talk about mindset and how you got to keep your head in the game when you're looking for a job. Most people, when they graduate from a coding bootcamp, they might apply to 1, 3, 5 companies online, thinking that they're doing something. But what they don't understand is that when you're in the job search, you need to treat finding a job like your full-time job, meaning you need to be applying to jobs 9 to 5, at least 8 hours a day.
If you don't study, if you don't work really hard and dedicate yourself to being better every single day, you'll never be able to communicate with people, with your artistry, the way that you want. So
the second thing that I told him is that most coding bootcamp grads are applying online, and that's another reason why coding bootcamp grads can't find jobs. I've never gotten a job in tech through the website. I've never gotten a job, period, through the website. I actually had to send 1,900 emails to get my first job, and my brother, who got that six-figure job, he had to send hundreds of emails to get his first job to people without applying online to get the interview.
What?
The reason why applying online doesn't work is because recruiters are the one accepting applications from the website. And again, the recruiters are focused on screening applications for the hiring manager, and they're focused on people with college degrees. The third thing that I told my brother about why coding bootcamp grads can't find jobs is that they don't know how to tell their story.
Amy, it says you are trained in technology. That's very good. Exactly in what area of technology are you proficient?
Snapchat, Pinterest, Instagram, Vine, Twitter, you know, the big ones.
A lot of people focus on the Instagram clone that they created in their coding bootcamp, if they did go to college, what school that they went to, their GPA and things like that. But what they don't realize is that if everybody has a high GPA and everybody graduated from the same bootcamp and everybody has perfect Instagram clones, what makes you different? What makes you different is who you really are. So when you tell your story and the recruiter asks you, tell me about yourself, you need to tell them in 1 to 2 minutes a little bit about your background, what sparked your interest in coding, what you did to develop that interest, what other companies you're interviewing with during the job search, and why you're specifically interviewing with them today. Once you communicate that in a way that is personal to them and you really emphasize that, that's gonna set you apart from everybody else.
Allow me to reintroduce myself.
It's much more interesting to me as a hiring manager to know that you're also from Atlanta, Georgia, and you play the cello and you're a software engineer than if you graduated from a boot camp and you know how to make another Instagram clone like everybody else. Because at the end of the day, the reason why somebody's gonna hire you is not just because you know how to code, it's because they like you and they wanna work with you, they wanna develop you.
Welcome to Atlanta, hammers and bows, back to the mackin' and
After that, I told my brother, look, you can't just apply to every single company. Most coding bootcamp grads aren't getting jobs because they don't know how to pick companies. The media just tells you about Google, Apple, and Facebook. But there's 100 million startups that get created every single year. So going back to knowing your story and who you are, focus on mid-sized companies with momentum that are personal to you. So if you come from a family of cancer survivors, find companies that are focused on cancer. Because even though you might be a junior coding bootcamp graduate, you are a senior in experience coming from a family of people that have overcome impossible circumstances. And you can bring that perspective to the table to that company. If you grew up on a farm, you can go to a startup focused on food. So really focus on companies that are personal to you, and that's really going to set you apart. The last and most important thing that I told my brother about why coding bootcamp grads don't find jobs is that coding bootcamp grads don't know how to pick people. Most people are going in through the front door. But if you come from a non-traditional background, you can't go in through the front door. You gotta go in through the back door, you gotta go in through the side door, around it, under it, or through it. What does that mean? It means you have to literally go on LinkedIn, Google people's names, senior engineer, CEO, chief technology officer, whatever, at the company, figure out what their email is using a tool like Clearbit or Reportive or something like that to find their email and send them a personalized email asking for coffee and telling them why you're interested in their program. And I'll teach you my 5 email a day tactic in another video, but for now, just know you need to identify people that have decision-making power that can give you what you need during the job search.
You got all the tapes, you got all the access. Now it's time to hunt. And what separates you from everybody else is that when it's time to hunt, you ready to hunt.
Once my brother did these 5 things, he went from getting 0 offers to getting multiple offers in a month and $150,000 without any prior job experience. And you can hear his story on the Breaking Into Starters podcast right here. So there you have it. These are the 5 reasons why coding bootcamp grads aren't finding jobs. Now go do the opposite and leave comments to let me know how it worked out for you. And like I said, if you leave a comment, I'm going to give you my 5 email a day tactic that if you apply it for 30 days, I promise you, you will get job offers this month. Without further ado, subscribe, tell your friends, and let's break in.